Welcome to the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad. Today we are in our 5th installment of a series of operating session videos. Today we are switching in the Sioux City, Iowa yard on my Black Hills and Eastern HO scale model railroad. The switchers are MP15DCs that I had out for a review and video here a couple of weeks ago, and I was having so much fun with them that I decided to make this into an operating session video. Some geographic liberties are being taken, so please excuse the places and stuff that don't exactly align. These pair of switchers are breaking down a train that came in from Sioux Falls yesterday, and we are going to actually be making up a train bound for DM&E later on in this video. Here we see a cut of cars being shoved down to the classification tracks in Sioux City. Again, those are Atlas MP15s. And here in the background of this shot is the couple of, actually 4 Morefield Southern cars, the orange cars, the hoppers that I did for a video a long time ago, and then the actually those purple cars are actually in a separate video. I'll link to all that stuff below, and the MP15s as well. So we cut the caboose off from that bulkhead car, and we're going to go ahead and put that over on the caboose track. That is an Atlas caboose, and the reason why we know that is because those rectangular windows on the cupola and the kind of stubby nature of that cupola. I believe that's a Reading prototype from Atlas. It's a pretty nice model. And actually what we're doing here is we're going down the ladder track to access the caboose track on the other end. So actually in that cut there, those 4 cabooses, there's 2 Atherns and 2 Atlas cars. Soon to add a 3rd Atlas car here with this green one we're adding on. That big sky blue one has been patched out to Burlington Northern, as you can see in that shot. And I added marker lights. Those are LEDs with the Details West lens enhancement. We just glued the surface mount LED to the back side of the lens. That's a red surface mount LED that we're using there. Boom. The conductor gets down and pulls the pin, and the engines pull away and go back to work. Here those MP15s are pulling a bunch more cars off the 80 tracks in the yard to make room. In this cut of cars here is 3 different makes of ballast cars. Those you see first there are Bowser cars, followed by a roundhouse car, a couple of Walthers cars, and a couple more roundhouse cars. Those roundhouse cars I converted from the little covered hopper car from MDC Roundhouse. It was about a year or 2 ago. Kind of like having a little bit of variety in the ballast cars, because you never see 2 ballast cars next to each other that are alike, it seems like. Those Omaha, Lincoln, and Beatrice cars are custom paints of mine. Those are Accurail cars, I believe, from a couple of years ago. I forget the decal make on those. Shoving back onto the classification track here now at this point. And then we're going to start making up the train on an AD track, and the first will actually be the tail end of the train, that pair of bulkheads that we're going to tie onto. You can see there Morefield Southern is ready to go in the background, back over to Morefield, right north of Sioux Falls. And we set those bulkheads over on 81 and come back in and get another cut from, I believe that's 83 we're on here now. And we're actually going to do a little bit of sorting out here. Those DM&E cement cars, well, we'll talk about those later. We put those tanks away. Those DM&E cement cars I was going to tell you about, they came down on a train from Sioux Falls, that same train that came down yesterday. In Sioux Falls, you used to see those quite commonly in the early 2000s, maybe even in the late 1990s. DM&E had a slug of those cement cars, and you'd see those regularly transferred. They'd come down from Woolsey on the BN down to Sioux City, and then back up to Sioux Falls and transferred to E&E over to their dry powder cement plant on the west side of town, right west of I-29, if you guys are familiar with the Sioux Falls area. Those have all been replaced now by smooth-sided cars, mostly, Wells Fargo leasing and things like that. Here's a trick I learned from one of Burr Stewart's guys by putting that pick in there to prevent an unplanned recoupling to the cars. And it turns out I needed it to keep those cars from rolling forward too. We needed to tie on a few more handbrakes. Then we continue to sort cars here. We're getting that cement block ready to go back to DM&E for refill out on the Colony line. And then these cars were going to be, some of these are going to be getting out of the way, and some of these are going to go with the DM&E transfer. And here we're showing off the new drill track that I put in recently for the Sioux City yard. This enables us to do switching in the yard without following the main. So we can pull a fairly long train out of the classification tracks and move over to the AD tracks without ever going on the main, which on my railroad doesn't make that much of a difference because Sioux City is kind of the end of the line. But it really is nice to simulate sort of real railroading. So if we did have a train come down from north on the Marshall subdivision, it could come in and drop into one of those AD tracks without disrupting any of the switching going on in the yard. Now we're going to shove a little further up the AD track here to start finishing off this transfer to the DM&E. Dakota, Minnesota, and Eastern, for those of you who aren't familiar with the South Dakota, Minnesota area. Conductor got down and pulled the pin again. And then we're over to that drill track again. And those bulkheads are going to end up going back with the train. And we're sloughing off cars into the classification tracks to be dealt with later. There's another Morefield Southern car there in the foreground. So those switchers will pull away, and actually they are done with their work for today anyway. They'll tie down in the engine track on the south end of the yard, and then we have one quick pass to do before we're done with the operating session here. That F7 and F7B was a gift to me as a very wee lad. My first proper HO scale train set included that F7 and a number of blue box rail cars, probably when I was 8 or 9 years old. And of course your Plywood Pacific. Here's these Jeeps being pulled off of the 80 track. Those came down, like I said, on the Sioux Falls local yesterday, and we're going to tie those down in the engine tracks as well. So I hope you liked the content here. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. By the way, don't forget to check out that 1000th subscriber episode. I'll put that and a couple of other links to things that you saw in this video down in the description. Check that out. So really nice running engines. And then the BN 211, the pet switcher from Sioux Falls. A couple of bloopers here. The brakeman gets down and pulls the pin, and what happens? Oh snap, forgot to hit the direction button. Oh snap, must need a coupler knuckle spring. Have a good one, y'all. We'll see you later.